Collinsville is a 5A school. We are a pretty large school in a small town. Our ag program is pretty unique because we were one of the first 5 chapters started in Oklahoma, and we were given charter number 1. I graduated from Buffalo Valley High School in Southeast Oklahoma. I went to Eastern Oklahoma State College. I was on the soils judging team there with Mr. Walker. He really encouraged me to stick with what I was doing instead of choosing other paths that I had available at that time. After graduating at OSU, I met one of the Collinsville school board members at the graduation in Adair where I was student teaching, and he told me that they had a job opening, encouraged me to come apply, so I did, and obviously I ended up here. My father-in-law had taught here for 29 years, and he was retiring, so I ended up replacing him, and I've been here since 2012. So in 2012, I started with about 32 kids. This last year, I had roughly 80 students, and this coming year, we have more than that enrolled. So we're trying to shuffle everything around and get as many kids as possible in the program. So the building that we were in when I started here in 2012 was built in the late 70s or early 80s. It had the basics, but it was outdated. We didn't have the electrical capabilities in the shop that we needed. The classroom size wasn't the same. There were lots of things that needed to be improved for our program to keep growing and have the facility we needed. So the community and our school board administration put together a bond issue that included our new facility and our van facility that is next to us here. Throughout the whole process, I was very fortunate. Our administration and the contracting company that we worked with, they let me go over blueprints. They let me make a lot of decisions about where to put outlets and how to set up various things in our classroom. We have double sliding doors that allow us to open up the 2 classrooms into one, and things that are very unique but very functional for us that other classrooms or other programs may not benefit from. So we were very fortunate to be able to have input and insight. We did build with 2 classrooms because we're growing, and we know that within a few years, in order for our program to continue, we will need to add a second teacher. So it was built with some forethought. It's a little bigger than what we truly need right now, but it gives us room to grow and gives us room to utilize it to our fullest advantage for the time being. We do have an 8th grade program here. Our 8th graders they're at a different campus site, so their class is first hour, so they can get off the bus, or mom or dad, whoever can drop them off, and then we bus them back for their second hour at the middle school campus. We offer Ag 1, and then for our upper level classes, since there's only 1 teacher, we shuffle those around every year so that especially our seniors can take multiple classes, and those will vary from ag mechanics to animal science, natural resources, just the general everyday ag classes that most programs have. So we'll switch those about every year, or if not every other year. As far as class time goes, my lower level, so Ag 1, 8th grade, we try to go over all the basics, and I try to get them started on record books and understanding what the program is and what an SAE is and how all of that works and comes together within our program. And then my upper level classes, we cover different things. One of the big things I try to do is make things hands-on. If kids are having fun, they remember things more, and the kids that have came back to me several years after they've graduated, they come back and talk to me. They remember the things they did, not the things that we read out of a book or did a worksheet over. And I'm not saying that those things aren't important, because they are, but they don't leave as much of an impact in a kid's mind as those hands-on activities and the times where they're having fun but they're learning and they don't realize they're learning. So something I do, we do archery here. I I give my kids opportunities at different time in the year because every class is different, to kind of pick something. So some years we make biofuels, some years they learn how to work with leather, and I give them a few different options, things that are hands-on. And I usually do that around, holiday breaks where we have some time that kids are going in and out of class and doing other things. That way, if they miss, they don't have a lot to make up, but they have something that's still meaningful to do during that time. So every program comes with its own challenges. Every town is different. One of the challenges that I think most teachers encounter is dealing with difficult parents. It may not be every year, but at some point you're going to have a difficult parent or someone that maybe is a stakeholder in the community that doesn't like the way you're doing things or saw something done differently, whoever was teaching there before you. Obviously, following my father-in-law who taught here 29 years, he did things different than I do. So trying to get everyone to adjust to that and understand that just because you do something different doesn't mean it's wrong can be challenging. If you're in an older program like mine, there are people that have grudges, things that happened, maybe even before you were born. And I encountered a gentleman, he was older, and something that happened in the 60s was his reason for not allowing his kids to be his grandkids to be in my program. So to a degree, those things are troublesome and they bother you, but you have to learn, if you can't control it, let it go and move on. Trying to manage your time and not live at the school can be very difficult. There's always things to be done. You could stay in your office or in your building 24/7 for about 3 weeks and still have things to do. But you also have to give yourself time to breathe and recuperate. Otherwise you get burnout. And once you're burnt out, you're not there for your kids, you're not there for your school. So taking care of yourself and prioritizing your time is very, very important. If you have a spouse or a significant other, you have to learn to share that time with them too. Some of us have spouses who are very supportive and come with us or help with different programs. Others may have jobs that don't allow that. So you just have to learn to balance that and find time for yourself and your family. And that, in the big scheme of things, it makes everything more enjoyable than when you're never home, your kids don't see you, your spouse doesn't see you, and you're burnt out and tired because you have gone too far. So that's a huge thing in my opinion. Being a female ag teacher in Oklahoma is becoming more common than it was when I started. In 2012, I was one of the only females in this area. Some people just went with it, no issue. Other people had some resistance. Obviously now we have lots and lots of female teachers, and they're more widely accepted. Depending on your personality and where you end up, it can be a great thing. Obviously there's going to be challenges regardless of if you're male or female, where you're at. Different people handle it differently. I have the personality that if someone tells me I can't do it, I'm going to try to prove them wrong. So for me it worked out. Lots of others, it's worked out for them too. So it's very possible. I'm not going to say that men and women can do everything the same, but we all have something to bring to the table, and it's just a matter of figuring out what you can bring to the table maybe that someone else can't. So in Collinsville, we are starting to see a more diverse student body as a whole. We're putting in lots of housing additions in our area, lots of families moving in from bigger cities that they kind of want a more country lifestyle, but they want a good school for their kids. So we are seeing more and more groups of students who maybe wouldn't have been in our school system before, and as a result I'm seeing more students with different ethnic backgrounds in my program. A lot of them coming from different countries or different states or cities. They have very interesting things that they can add to our program, whether it be ideas or skills, maybe just insight into something that our kids don't see here. So having those diverse programs, it really helps the entire program and not just 2 or 3 kids. So being a senior in high school that has hopes of becoming an ag teacher one day, if I could tell you from my experiences some things that I think would be helpful. Obviously, being a senior, you're going to be under some pressure, but use that time to learn from your ag teacher. Think about what they're doing and why they're making the choices they're making, because even if you don't agree with those choices, there's a reason they're being made. So try to get some insight into their life and why they do what they do. Take advantage of every opportunity. This year's been a perfect example. There may not be another one. So if you want to give that speech, do it. Whatever it is, take advantage of all of those opportunities this year and keep your grades up. If your grades are up, college will be easier. You can get more scholarships. Whether you're going to a junior college or straight to OSU, do what works for you. I transferred to OSU because I had a scholarship for a judging team at Eastern. Some people have that, some people don't, but do what works for you. Stay in close contact with your advisors. Make sure you're taking the correct classes in the correct order. I've seen people get to their senior year and realize they missed a class they should have taken their second year of college. So stay on top of those things. Stay out of trouble. College is fun, but don't do something that would prevent you from becoming an ag teacher if that's truly what you want to do. You can't undo some of those mistakes. Being an ag teacher and FFA advisor, you have the unique opportunity to build a relationship with your students. You see them more than 45 minutes a day. Some of my kids spend more time with me than they spend with their own parents. And unfortunately, a lot of our kids, they don't know how to ask for attention in the correct way. So being able to spend that time with them, build those relationships, and that's something else I try to do with my 8th graders and my Ag 1 classes, is get to know them as a person, know what they like, what they enjoy, who they are, not just their name and what hour they're in. So you become a second parent, sometimes almost a friend, but you have to be able to set those boundaries with those students too and keep everything very professional. But we have the unique opportunity to be a role model and teach these kids about life, and all of the speech contests and stock shows, they're fun, but along the way there's opportunities, whether you're driving down the road or you're sitting in a restaurant, to teach life lessons that these kids will remember and learn from. And to me, that's one of the really important things about what we do, is teaching these students how to be good people and how to contribute to society instead of just how to show a pig or how to give a speech.